brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this great Suds segment where good beer meets really bad radio. This is good old gal Julieanna, and joining me today are my co-hosts, good old boy Dave.
Hey buddy.
Hey buddy. Good old boy Mike.
Hey there.
Welcome back, El Jefe. And good old boy Kendall.
It's always a pleasure. Glad to be here.
Yay! Kendall and his wife June do a beer blog that we'll find out more about later in the show. Tongue twister there for Julie. Today's show is about Friends. Okay, I guess I'm the only one that's excited about Friends.
So that show with Matt LeBlanc and Jennifer
Dave,
Aniston?
Stop holding my hand and humming the theme song.
Didn't know that was your hand.
Friends?
How's that go? Oh, well, you know.
Oh, brother. Friends making beer and friends drinking beer. And friends and beer in general. Collaborations are a really big thing in craft beer. They are done to support good causes, exchange ideas, expose small regional breweries to new markets.
Do they hold hands while they're brewing in collaborations?
I bet they do.
Only some of them.
Do they have to sing the Friends theme song as well?
Oh, I thought they sing Kumbaya. Man, you're just blowing up my world, dude.
I'm thinking about some very interesting videos that could probably go down.
Okay, but mostly they're done because brewers, of course, like to hang out with other brewers and make beer and drink beer and make more beer and, of course, drink beer.
There are tons of one-off collaborations happening all the time. Stone probably has more collaboration beers than a lot of breweries have just beer. But there are also some collaboration series like Sierra Nevada's Beer Camp, which I think is great. Maybe
and we covered last season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ballast Point has their Homework series where they partner with home brewers.
Yeah, really great series, and I think we'll have that on another episode sometime because really some great brewers have really come out of there.
Heavy Seas has their partnerships series, and the brewery has a collaboration series, and they very cleverly named it Collaboration Series.
Smart.
Wow.
I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
We're going to have to search that out.
Marketing genius.
It is, yeah. Well, recently, New Belgium Brewing Company came out with something that's kind of a new twist to collaborations. Kendall thought this would be a great idea for an episode, and here we are.
Oh, wait. So this is his idea. So if it works really well, he gets to take all the credit, and if it sucks, we get to blame Dave.
Absolutely.
Isn't that how it usually happens?
So, good boy Kendall, tell us what the heck we're talking about today.
Well, we're talking about New Belgium's, Fat Tire and Friends collaboration, which I got a heads up from. I live right down the street from Tennessee's Beer Ranger for New Belgium. So he told me this was coming.
Beer Ranger.
I went to the grocery store and I picked up a 12-pack or two. I really enjoyed this collaboration. Here's some more information about it from New Belgium's website. It says coming June 2016, which is a few months ago, but that's okay. Yeah. This beer has been kept in my refrigerator, so
under lock and key.
Under lock and key, so it's been cold storage the entire time, so it's nice and fresh. But this year is a very special one for New Belgium, the 25th anniversary. To celebrate this lofty occasion, we're crisscrossing the country to crack open bottles of Fat Tire with our brewing friends. And then they're cracking open bags of malt and hops to design their own commemorative spin on the old favorite. The result is Fat Tire and Friends. What state am I from now?
We're trying to figure that out, sir.
Not Alabama.
Friends.
Banned once again.
Well, But anyway, the result is Fat Tire and Friends CollaBEERation Pack, an anniversary present to our fans, featuring new spins on Fat Tire from our friends at Firestone Walker, Avery, Allagash, Rhinegeist, and Hopworks Urban Brewery, also known as Hub. Plus a couple original Fat Tires for good measure. So join us in celebrating a quarter century of beer this year and taste your way through the special CollaBEEration Pack.
So, I want to step back for a minute. You said a beer ranger lives near you?
Yeah.
So like a park ranger, but better?
Does he have a horse?
I haven't seen this horse. Yeah, the beer reps for New Belgium are called beer rangers, and there's usually 1 or 2, 3 in every state, and I'm just happy to live down the street from one of them. So I hear about good things coming before a lot of people do.
It's pretty cool.
It's a nice hookup.
Yeah, no doubt. Huh.
I wonder if that'd be a pretty cool guy to meet at a party. Hi, I'm a beer ranger. Where do you go with that? It's like
they don't wear funny hats though. I don't know what the deal is.
See, that disappoints me. That would make it better if he actually had to dress like a ranger.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I am here to save the day. I have that, that kind of Mountie thing kind of going on in my head, so.
Dudley Do Right.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Dudley Brew Right.
Yes. But
so here is today's lineup. We have Allagash Fat Funk Ale. Avery has the Fat Wild Ale. Hopworks has the Fat Sour Apple Ale. Firestone Walker's Fat Hoppy Ale. Rhinegeist, has the Fat Pale Ale. And, of course, the original New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale.
Sounds like a cool lineup.
I think so.
I can't wait.
So, El Jefe.
Oh, yes.
Since you're back.
Let's see if you still got
in town. Yeah.
Hang on. I need to get my Ranger Mojo on.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Are there hand gestures involved with this?
Good old boy Mike.
Please.
There usually are.
Do the Suds ratings.
You bet. So, we're going to be discussing and rating these beers with these Suds ratings, plus our signature belching sounds. I'm going to be channeling myself actually reading these at altitude, since, the New Belgium at altitude. So, I'm going to speak just a little higher. So, because if you were a little bit higher, you would be speaking at altitude.
He does sound high.
Yes, so here are those ratings now. That sucks. Give me anything but a bud. That was number 1. Number 2, was that a belch? Number 3, what a relief. Can you imagine if this was with helium? Number 4, a body should really not make that sound.
I think we could say that about the way you're reading.
It's like a bad Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Number 5, listen to that hang time. Give me another Pluto. Thank you.
Now we're going to get a letter from Disney.
That's right. At least we can be banned from Disney World now. That was
once again.
Was one of my key goals.
Wow, that was like Julia Child meets a Swiss alpine skier meets Mickey Mouse from the 50s.
And we just started drinking too. All right.
I think you blew out a butt cheek trying to talk that high.
Okay, let's
all settle down for a second.
Yeah.
Glad I was not thinking about that.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that, El Jefe. We appreciate that.
You still got it, folks.
Yes. And now let's get on to the beer.
Yes.
Good old boy Dave. Start us off, please.
Well, so obviously the best place to start is at the beginning.
We start at the very beginning.
All right, you're going to get cut off.
You're the one with the effects board.
I don't mean your mic.
I'm just sitting here, man.
So, Fat Tire Amber Ale was named for in honor of the co-founders' bike trip to Europe. Wow, you'd think I could read words that are right in front of me.
Negative.
Yes. So, Fat Tire Amber Ale marks a turning point in the young electrical engineers' homebrewing. Belgian beers use a far broader palette of ingredients, fruits, spices, esoteric yeast strains. Man, that is a hard word.
Here, I'll hold your hand, Dave, while you say the big
You know
words.
what? That's not going to make this easier. More esoteric yeast strains than German or English styles. Together with co-founder Kim Jordan, our hero, they traveled around sampling their home brews to the public. Fat Tire won fans with its sense of balance, toasty biscuit-like malt flavors, coasting and coasting and equilibrium with hoppy freshness. Fat Tire pairs well with people. Oh, that's like cannibalism, dude. What the hell?
So this show is.
I don't know where to go with this.
This show has absolutely devolved so fast. What's our 7-minute mark? That we are totally at the point where you said the word "eat" and "people" all at the same time. You know, it's like. How did that come about in the marketing meeting? Yeah. We want to pair this with people. What kind of sauce do you put with that?
The preferred beer of cannibals.
Well, so Kendall's the Cicerone. So, Kendall, how would you prepare people to serve with Fat Tire?
You use white people?
You definitely need to marinate them a long time, or else it'd be a little tough.
Yeah,
I think
right.
Little Latino dudes probably go along pretty well. You know.
Wouldn't you have to serve Belgians with a Belgian beer?
I agree. There you go. Mostly it would be barbecued people from Alabama. That would probably be the perfect pairing once again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just don't know where to go from here.
What happens now?
Okay. Well,
so we're going to start with the original at the beginning.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our notes.
It's not getting any better.
Rolling clouds and crashing surf. Iridescent dews reflecting by the light of a rising, glowing moon. Seashore mesmerizing, night breeze hypnotizing. We've come across these back roads none too soon. Look to the left, to the right. Keep your eyes on the road, my darling. Wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows. My hand is yours forever, sweet love.
Welcome back, everyone. We are in a really interesting discussion about the Fat Tire and Friends collaboration. And, yeah, okay. So the first beer that we're going to be talking about is the New Belgian Fat Tire Ale, which was the original. Dave, your tasting notes, please.
So,
or not.
I don't get the people. It's not in the nose. So I've always enjoyed Fat Tire. I think as an amber, you're looking for sort of a good malt focus. I don't even know what I'm saying here. So basically, I'm going to say that it's a very easy drinking beer. I like it. I don't love it, but I think it's very good. I will give it a Suds rating of 3.
Good old boy, Mike.
Well, my tasting notes here on Fat Tire Amber Ale are pretty simple. I wrote down a little bit sweet, spicy. It has what I would describe as a very German yeast profile or German malt profile, maybe a little bit of combination of both. Mm-hmm. It has been a little while since I've had this, and so it was kind of nice to taste it with a fresh palate. It reminded me of some of the German breweries that I've been to rather quickly, and so I give it a solid 3.
Good old boy, Kendall.
To me, I get a lot of bready notes, a lot of biscuit, caramel, toast, and it's so different than the other ambers on the market. So many ambers and reds in the American market are influenced by that British style. Mm-hmm. Some of those British yeast esters, usually more malt forward. This one actually has a nice bitterness, and if you let it warm up, the bitter really starts coming out. but it's well balanced. Those malts are, I think, well done, and I'm getting some of those Belgian yeast esters out of it too. For what it is and as unique as it is, I've always loved Fat Tire. I admit I don't drink it a lot anymore, so it was nice, like Mike said, nice to have it again. But just because it does what it does so well, it's a 4 for me.
I'm going to echo a bit of what Kendall says, and I like this a lot too. You know, it's sad because as a beer lover, you're always searching for that new beer, that great beer, right? And it's always something new that's in your refrigerator or in your cellar or wherever the heck it is that you keep your beer.
In my belly.
Right, sure, that too. But like, this took me back to like the first time that I had it, and I was blown away by it at the time because I'm like, New Belgium, this is an American brewery, and oh my god, this is like so different. This isn't drinking, you know, the AB InBevy type of stuff that you would expect for a big American brewery, so to speak. So I was, you know, it just takes me back to that time and like, yeah, man, you know, why don't I drink this more? What the heck is wrong with me? Anyways.
Can I chime in on that?
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
I know what you mean. I still buy a lot of New Belgian beer, but I haven't bought a 6-pack of Fat Tire in ages.
No, because it's always the La Folie and all of those other things, and it's like, dude, I need to get down to the basics sometimes. Anyways, I give this kiddo a 4.
David, you were always at the basic.
If I knew what you were saying, I'd probably take offense.
So, Kendall and I had this interesting conversation off mic, you know, a little bit about some of the early days of New Belgium, and you know, it was kind of a really cool conversation. How did we get into it? You asked me a question
Talking about flagships, and as a flagship beer, how is this doing? I mean, is it still the same percentage it sells it was 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Some flagships for some breweries aren't doing as well. I imagine this one's still doing okay.
So we were kind of talking about those early days of Fat Tire being kind of on the market, and I thought one of the observations that caught my attention was incredible timing, because it was just at that moment where I think that people were beginning to consider embracing beers beyond Sam Adams, and that even the nomenclature of describing, you know, craft beer was just, you know, kind of coming into the fold, you know, just a bit. And so I think that that is an awful lot of what I would contribute a lot of the early success was great timing, having a unique product, but having something that had not been exposed, you know, to the American palate. If they had done it with another style of beer, I don't know that it would have, you know, the same, you know, net effect. I don't know if even part of it might have been that they were chasing some of the same, you know, style characteristics that were within, you know, within the Sam Adams lager, you know, even though this is not even close to, you know, that product at all. But so I really thought, you know, a lot of that early success really was attributed to timing. But you know, then Kendall was kind of chiming in and saying how many other beers, you know, really kind of came in around.
Yeah, but it was unique. I mean, I think Americans were starting to get pale ales and IPAs and really starting to explore other things. And and even reds and ambers were hugely popular, but this was different, and it really helped it to stand out in the field.
Yeah, really great timing, and that really capitalized, and they did a great job of not only seizing a tap, but multiple taps with the rollouts of a solid pale, and definitely Ranger I think, really put them on the map. That was the first really big hoppy beer that I remember hitting a package. I'd had some other hoppy beers on tap, but when Ranger kind of came out, I really thought that was incredible timing to come out with something in such a broad market.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then they came out with Shift, and I mean, you know, they've kind of like set the standard to me for such diversity.
Well, and first brewery that had their own slide, so, you know, there you go.
There's there's that, yes.
Let's get to some more beer.
Moving on. All right. Good old boy Mike, otherwise known as El Jefe. What are you going to talk about?
Let's see. I'm going to talk about the Allagash Fat Funk Ale. Is that what I'm covering?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, let's see if I can read this better than Dave.
You're kind of in charge.
For our new Fat Tire and Friends CollaBEEration pack.
Tricky, eh?
Thank you. We teamed up with Allagash from Portland, Maine. Who wants the funk? Fat Tire wants the funk. Our New England friends at Allagash brought it, taking Fat Tire back to its Belgian roots with a devolve house Belgian yeast strain that adds classic pear, banana, and spice to Fat Tire's malty goodness. Then they bottle conditioned the beer with Brett and for a spicy finish, so get your funk on. A few of the flavor notes they add here is that it is kind of a touch of sourness with light bitterness and slowly builds. So my own tasting notes on the Allagash Fat Funk Ale are, I didn't think it was very funky. Was the first thing, and I didn't read any of the tasting notes before, tasting this. So I guess if they were going for a light touch, it's a light touch. It's kind of hoppy, and I actually wrote down the word weak. For this pack, my Suds rating is going to be a 2 for this Allagash Fat Funk Ale.
Go to by Kendall.
I'm going to disagree with Mike on a few of those points, although I do think it is a little low in funk. I actually wrote down gentle funk. It's like a funk with training wheels.
So it would be like if you heard a Muzak version of a Parliament song?
Exactly.
Interesting.
But for somebody who has never had a funky beer, and I didn't want to give them a Cantillon or something, I would hand them this and let them experience some of those barnhousey flavors that we like to talk about. And it's not super complex, but it's there. And I think some of my tasting notes are going back to when I first had this beer too. I remember when I first tasted it, I thought it was one of the more unique ones of the CollaBEEration, and I really enjoyed it. To me, it's a 4.
Interesting. I'm going to kind of meet both of you in the middle. I mean, when I think of Allagash, I think of, funky assaults. So, yeah, this is like a toned-down version. But, for somebody that would otherwise be scared of funky beers, this is a nice gateway.
Remember, this is being sold in grocery stores.
I know. And that's... You have to put that in perspective, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. So, yeah, I think it's good. Like, obviously, for those of us that know Allagash by itself, you're thinking, oh, this is just not quite what I was expecting. But in the scheme of things, yeah, this is what you should be expecting. So you're getting a little bit of barnyard. To me, the amberness is coming out more.
Yeah, you definitely get
fidgety much there.
The biscuity Fat Tire character is there.
Yeah,
and then there's a few layers on top of it.
Yeah. And I think they did, a good job. I'm going to give this a 3. Hey, fidgety.
It tastes like it's trying to be a craft beer.
So, as much as I dislike agreeing with Mike, I mean, like really, really painful. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of a letdown, especially considering how much I do enjoy Allagash. But I think at the end of the day, you take what you get and do what you want with it. And I don't know, maybe somebody likes it. Kendall seemed to like it, so he's cool. But he is hopped up on Sudafed right now, so take his words.
Remember, I said my tasting notes were inspired by the very first time I tasted as well. So I really dug this beer when I first got it.
All right, well, I don't know. I guess I'll give it a 2.
Well, there's that.
There it is. I did it.
Okay.
I rated an Allagash beer a 2. Mark that in the history books.
That's weird. Good old boy Kendall. What are you going to talk about?
The next one is the Avery Fat Wild Ale. So for this one from the CollaBEEration pack, they teamed up with Avery out of Boulder, Colorado. I think we all know and enjoy their beers.
Yep.
So go wild for fat, thanks to Boulder's finest for this unabashedly tropic take on Fat Tire. Avery took a healthy dose of Brettanomyces bruxellensis Dre to create a fat tire span with a sturdy malt backbone, fruity hop aroma, and tropical pineapple layer. Heed the call of the wild fat tire. It's definitely tropical. It's a little bit peppery to me, and comparing it to when I'm having it today to when I first had it, it's better today. This is one that sitting in the bottle I think benefited this beer. Because if I would have rated this beer that first week of July when I got a couple 12-packs, it was a 2. There was just something off about it. Mm-hmm. But sitting in the fridge for a good 4 or 5 weeks, that's mellowed, the flavor's changed, and I think it's a good wild ale. Not fantastic. And I'm kind of saying what Dave's just said about the other beer from Allagash. Is for Avery, this was not really what I was expecting. I thought I was going to have a lot more of the wild. Especially, they've got the Brett Brooks Dre in there. It's like I wanted it to be wild.
Yeah.
And this one's it's good. And I think talking about what we talked about with the grocery store crowd, it's a good exposure to that. But it's a 3 for me.
I like this one a lot because of how different it was. I mean, talk about tropical. Like I feel like I'm on an island. Like I'm also getting, I'm getting somewhat of a hint of like even coconut in there as it's warming up. And as it's been warming up, I'm getting more and more tropical flavors. But yeah, is it really wild? No. But as a gateway, yeah. And I get it. And I think this would be really interesting for somebody who is just used to drinking fat tire on their own.
Exactly.
You're getting that maltiness on the bottom, but I'm sorry, guys, I like it. And I'm giving it a 4.
Well,
okay, there.
I'm kind of wondering, especially since they used Brett on this, like maybe it was a timing issue, and I think what Kendall said kind of makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm sure on a project like this, they give you a certain time frame that you have to get the beer put together, packaged, whatever it is. So maybe like if we held a bottle and, cellared it for a while longer, it'd get even better. I don't know. Not totally impressed. There's still, to me, there's something off with the flavor, but I really like the aroma. So as far as for smelling, I'd say it's a 4, but for drinking, I'd say it's about a 2. So I'm going to slice that up and mix it around, create an average, give it a 3.
Dave's math is just amazing. So the Avery Fat Wild Ale, my tasting notes on this were, I wrote down that the Brux was very light. I think a lot of the other beers that have Brux in them, to me, are invasive. And so I think this is a good lesson that not every infected beer is going to have the same measure of flavor characteristic. So I think this is almost the lightest Brux beer I've ever had. I wrote down it had kind of a burnt amber taste to it, or I should say burnt sugar. And I actually wrote down, I thought this was kind of borderline moving between an amber ale and a red ale, because to me I think that's the distinctive flavor characteristic with a red ale, is you get a bit more of those burnt sugars, kind of moving on it. I wrote, I gave this a Suds rating of 3.
Wow, we agreed on 2 beers in a row.
My math was better, Dave.
You didn't show your work.
I did not. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, Julieanna, what beer are you going to discuss?
I'm going to talk about an apple. Sorry. So I'm going to talk about
a song.
I think that was a rejected jingle from Sesame Street. That's what I think.
I'm just reinventing it, getting in touch with my inner kid.
Yeah, that's what it needed.
Whatever. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Hopworks Fat Sour Apple. So, for our new Fat Tire and Friends CollaBEEration pack, we teamed up with Hopworks Urban Brewery, otherwise known as Hub, from Portland, Oregon. Our heroes at Hub pedaled Fat Tire straight to the apple orchard. This slightly sour homage starts out with a snap of tartness, courtesy of lactobacillus and apple juice, then gets balanced with Fat Tire-inspired malty sweetness and a slight herbal bitterness. Nice ride, Hub. At first, I didn't like it at all. But as it warmed up...
You suck.
No, it was just a little too sharp for me, if that makes any sense. But as it's warmed up, it's softened, and the more that I'm drinking it, the tardiness is... I'm getting really creamy now at the end, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Talking about the beer, right?
Yes, I'm talking about
the
beer. So apples with Fat Tire, I don't know that I'm necessarily a fan. Maybe they're trying to go for a caramel apple-y kind of like fall treat. Maybe not. But I dig the idea anyways, in theory. And I'm gonna give it a 3.
All of that. Did you show your work in the middle of that recitation there of going around the block 20 times to get to a 3?
Yeah.
That was pretty involved.
Was the aroma like a 4? I mean, how did your math work out on that?
Oh, I was taking the
So you
caramel
started with a 1 because you
and-
said you didn't like it off the bat. So
Right. No, I went up.
I think she talked herself into it.
I think so.
No. I went from a 1 to a 5 to a 3. So there.
Wait, what?
That's quite a range.
There you go.
You like that?
Not really.
And on that note, we're going to take a brief break and be right
Baby,
back.
the whole elation riding down this lover's avenue. As slow as a willow blows, or as fast as the whirlwind grows, we glide beneath the stars in cobalt blue. Look to the left, to the right. Keep your eyes on the road, my darling, wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows, my hand is yours forever, sweet love. Our eyes ahead on these back roads with a view.
Welcome back, everyone. We are in the midst of discussing our Fat Tire and Friends CollaBEEration pack. Up next is good old boy. Wait, where were we? Oh, I finished talking about
Dave's going to talk about the sour
Yeah.
apple.
Dave,
He's busy.
I guess so. Can you please give your tasting notes on the Hopworks Fat Sour Apple?
Shoot, yeah. A lot of apple. Give you that. Kendall, what do you call a cider and a beer mixed together?
A cider and a beer mixed together.
Like a biter?
That'll work. Color
Cool.
biter.
Yeah. It's a pretty good biter. It just reminds me like somebody took a apple cider and poured it in a beer and said, here you go, buddy. Check it out. No, I really like this. I think this is probably my favorite one so far. I think the apple really kind of it just adds this other dimension, a little bit of sharpness that I think kind of cuts through some of the normal sweetness of the beer. Sharpness and sweetness working together, living cats and dogs. Where was I?
That's a good question. That is the
Anyway.
entire question of the Dave. Where is Dave?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
So, number. Yes. That's what we need here.
Back to the math.
I am going to give this 4.
That is like the definition of dramatic pause. Gosh,
Acting.
Yeah, go boy, Mike. What's your take on
The
this beer?
Hopworks Fat Sour Apple. My tasting notes on this beer are: I wrote down kind of a bitter sourness, kind of hints of plum. I thought it was a little off balance. I thought it was actually too bitter. It reminded me of the apple skins. The skin of the apple was kind of the element that was kind of coming around in this. I gave this a Suds rating of 3.
I knew our agreement wouldn't last very long.
I realized that I've been reading something wrong, here the whole time. Because the word body is here on all our tasting notes, and I thought that we were talking about the type of people body. So this wrote creamy and coating, and the other one said medium body. So I'm like, what? Wait, they're actually giving you like barbecue instructions to go with the body? Is that what this is about? I wasn't really quite sure.
Are we talking about eating people again?
I don't know.
I
Hey,
guess so.
they started it. I'm just reading, what's in front of us. So I'm like, how do you make a creamy body? I don't know. That would be kind of weird.
People. Fat tires people.
I would probably get a little creamy with a little hot, a little heat applied.
Okay, I don't ever want to hear you say that again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's
Okay.
a scary visual.
Wow. That's an interesting smokes episode.
That is.
That's the one that got us knocked off the air.
Good old boy Kendall, help us reel this in again.
Quickly. Dave said it tastes like they put apple cider and beer together. I went a step farther and said it tasted like apple cider vinegar to me. It was, I thought, sharp, unbalanced. Both today and the very first time I cracked open one of these 12 packs, this was my least favorite beer. I just don't think it worked. It was a 2.
Yep, I'm getting some of that vinegar now. You mentioned that word. Yeah.
Interesting. Good old boy Dave. What one would you like to talk about now?
We're really going to let him read again.
Gotta take a chance.
So,
Take a chance.
I will be talking about the Firestone Walker Fat Hoppy Ale. It's for our Fat Tire and Friends thing. We teamed up with Firestone Walker from who?
Paso Robles.
Yeah, Paso Robles. That's what I was going to say. Thanks. A happily hoppified Fat Tire thanks to our California friends. A lot of hippies in California, I can tell you that. First, they created an assertive hop presence. And then they added a lager yeast to the Fat Tire recipe. Now that is very interesting. The result, a hoppy amber lager version of Fat Tire with an amplified American hop aroma and flavor. Time for you to hop on this fat too. That is weird. What does that mean? Hop on this fat?
Hop on the bike, dude.
No, I don't think that's what that means.
Obviously, doing this show is not like riding a bike.
We missed the marketing meeting out of this.
We should have done this episode on bicycles. It probably would have crashed.
I'm thinking
sooner.
there are a lot of things we could have been on to do this episode.
Bright golden. So yeah, okay, I'm not gonna read all that. So so let's just keep this party moving. I like this one. It's very hoppy, like they said, but I think that lager yeast really kind of creates like a kind of a clean crispness to it too, as well. Reminds me a little bit of. No, it doesn't remind me of that. Never mind. Let's forget I said that. Cut that part out. Anyways, I think this is a very good one. It would be my second favorite after the sour apple. And I usually don't like stuff that's this hop. Well, I like hoppy beers, but this one's a little. Yeah, okay, maybe I do like it. As far as hoppy lagers go, I'd say this is pretty dang good. So I'm going to give it a 3. Was that awkward? Did that come across?
The whole
it felt
thing,
awkward.
Everything you said felt awkward.
Yeah, that's how it felt to me too. That's weird.
So the Firestone Walker Fat Hoppy Ale, my tasting notes on this, I wrote down it is a signature Firestone Walker Union Jack hop profile.
It is.
It is like dead on. We don't have one here to taste side by side, but that is exactly where I think a lot of this is almost the same. I thought it's a tad sweet. I got a little bit more burnt sugar, kind of on this as well.
What's up with you and burnt sugar today?
Well, some of these, it wasn't just a matter of sweetness. I was tasting, some, where the sugar's kind of, it's been burnt. That's real sophisticated. Okay. My Suds rating for Firestone Walker Fat Hoppy Ale is a 3.
Good old boy Kendall, what'd you think of this beer?
I'm way off these guys today, and I'll tell you why. This is the very first time
You're
I tasted this
by the
beer.
Math. That's it.
Yeah, the very first time I tasted this beer, and even today, this is to me the best beer of the CollaBEEration. Not just for the flavor. This has both the DNA of Fat Tire. It has that biscuity, caramelly flavor, a little bit of sweetness.
He said DNA. It's back to people again.
And
it's weird.
But it also has, as Mike mentioned, it's got that Firestone Walker bitter, resiny hop signature thumbprint all over it. And to me, this is the best marriage of, this is a Fat Tire with a Firestone Walker hop profile. And
I agree.
And it is a great collaboration, and I really enjoyed this beer. It was usually the first 2 bottles to go when I got a 12-pack, and it's a 5 from me. It was great.
Kendall comes out swinging on the Fat Hoppy. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. This was really interesting. I mean, I could really taste the lagering effect of it, which to me, I think, even brought out the biscuitiness even more.
It did.
If that's possible to do.
It was so clean.
It really was. And it reminded me of Shift in a way. Like, Shift is one of my absolute favorites from New Belgium. Like, an everyday drinking kind of beer. That's a really good one. I mean, because I love the hoppiness with the lager. Then you add in the provenance of what Firestone Walker is known for with their hop profile, added in with now like an even maltier base. I mean, this is a win-win. There's no doubt about it. This is a win-win. And very, very enjoyable. And for people that were looking for a hoppy beer in their 6-pack, they certainly got it.
They did.
They really did.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. But it makes you appreciate the malt background even more. Like, I almost wish some other breweries could take note of this and say, look, for your IPAs, you can add just a little bit more malt. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I give this a 4. Okay. Well, we got one left.
Finish this up, Captain. You can do it.
Good old boy Mike.
Oh, I'm doing.
Can you talk about the last one?
Rhinegeist Fat Pale Ale. On our Fat Tire and Friends CollaBEEration pack, we teamed up with Rhinegeist Brewing from Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah. Fat Tire to the XP and the A. The innovative folks at Rhinegeist went all new style on Fat Tire. The result is a Belgian-style XPA, a combination of fruity Belgian yeast, bready, sweet European and Colorado malts, and a healthy dose of fruity Venice hops. Whew. Perfect for hopheads, wine lovers, beer fanatics, and even whiskey quaffers. Pairs well with a medium body to heavy body. Quaffer.
Quaffer. Reverend Mark, we're channeling you.
My own tasting notes here on Rhinegeist Fat Pale Ale. I wrote down this had a pleasing malt backbone. I just thought it was a dead-on pale ale. It was really, really good. Some of the fruit characteristics I thought were really coming through. I first wrote down mango. Then I turned to Kendall and I said, name some other fruit in the mango family. And we were thinking starfruit. Papaya is probably the other thing I got off this.
You guys were playing Name That Fruit and you didn't invite me?
Yeah. It was too much fun.
I'm certain why that was not including Dave in that conversation. My Suds rating for Rhinegeist Fat Pale Ale is a 3.
Good old boy Kendall, what'd you think of this beer?
I enjoyed this beer. It was also one of my tops. I think it was right behind Firestone Walkers for me. I think maybe it's just that to see what you can do with hops in a fat tire is really interesting. I think this is another one where it was a great collaboration. I taste the New Belgian Fat Tire, but I also taste what Rhinegeist can do with some of their yeast and hops, and I love the Rhinegeist beers. They make some really great stuff up there in Cincinnati.
Yes.
And it was a true collaboration. I could taste the like I said, the signatures of both of those breweries in this beer. Nice biscuity, malty backbone. Got some of those Belgian yeast esters in there, but yet the hops, a lot of citrus and tropical fruits, like Mike said, the mango, papaya, but even some of the pininess. It's a fantastic pale ale with a nice solid malt backbone, which a lot of the industry is getting away from, but it works.
And your Suds rating?
It's a 4.
I'm going to echo what a lot of you guys said. I mean,
Echo.
yeah.
Dave is an idiot. I'm sorry, were you talking about that echo?
Dave's an idiot. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Wow. No, I mean, this was one that I was really looking forward to because I love Rhinegeist beers. I like how they kind of blend East Coast and West Coastiness in their hop profile with their
real
beer
word,
range.
Coastiness?
Yeah.
Dude, she can add ness to the end of anything.
New word added to the Suds and Smokes lexicon, number 42, by good old Gail Julieanna. Coastiness. The art of being on the coast.
But in the middle. No, but it is. It's a combination of both coasts, and that's what I love about Rhinegeist beers in general. Their pale ale is like one of my favorites. So you combine that with the malt profile from the Fat Tire, and it's a great combination. Yeah. I got like a decent amount of like carameliness with those interesting fruity fruits that you would not normally get in a pale ale.
Did she just say fruity fruit?
She just said interesting fruit. Have you ever met a non-interesting fruit?
Yes.
Well, there was this one time.
And it was just bad for days.
What's that theme song sound like? And non-interesting fruit. Here I come to save the day. Sorry. Wow.
But with a higher pitch voice.
Yeah.
Please, folks, there's a matinee after this.
Yeah, just clench a little more.
Wow. Don't blow a valve, though.
Now we're really off the track.
Oh, yeah. What are we talking about? Dude, we're talking about a fruity pale ale.
Uninteresting fruits and coastiness.
No, overall, I think this was another very well done collaboration, and cheers to New Belgium for reaching out to Rhinegeist. I really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4. Good old boy Dave, what'd you think of this beer?
Hell, how do I follow that, dude? Yet I will try. I'm a big fan of Rhinegeist, like these other folks here. I think their stuff's pretty amazing. And I agree with Kendall. I think adding hops was a really great way to really change Fat Tire and show some of the different avenues you could take with it. I'm a big fan of it. So I think this one was definitely one of the better ones as well. Great job, everyone. I'm going to give it a 4.
Well, overall, I think this was a really good
pack
episode and a really good collaboration.
A very good pack, and a very interesting approach.
Of all the collaborations that have been out there, this was one of my favorites because it really did feature a core beer, which was nice. You could compare everything back to Fat Tire, and then they let every brewery take their turn and spin with it, and it was unique.
Yeah, and they went all over the place with it, which I thought was really cool as well. Wow. Everyone, I think that was a really good episode, and we're going to wrap up for today's Suds episode. We hope you enjoyed.
Are we going to wrap up the body?
We're going to wrap up the body. Tie it up for
That's
later.
what the rug is
bacon.
for.
Yeah, that's why we got that special rug in the corner. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and you can catch all of our episodes online, as well as on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes, Google Play, and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search for Sips, Suds, Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store.
We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsmokes.com.
Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every single day. Our handle on Twitter is @SipSudsSmoke, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news.
Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. It's a big help to us, and we get to see that feedback as well.
Kendall, why don't you tell us about your beer blog and where to find it?
My beautiful wife and I share the good news of good beer at beermakes3.com. Also, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Well, I'd like to thank all of our co-hosts for joining us today on this really cool collaboration event. Good old boy Dave.
Hey, email me a beer at leavethecorkin@sipsudsmokes.com.
Good old boy Mike.
Hey, this is good old boy Mike. You can reach me online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. I hope you'll come back, listen to us again. I will ask you to keep on sipping.
And good old boy Kendall.
Hey, Kendall here. You can reach me at Kendall@sipsudsmokes.com, and always drink good beer.
And thanks everyone for listening to us today. I am a good old gal Julieanna, otherwise known as Audio Kitty, at Sip Suds and Smokes. Keep on shuggling, guys.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see y'all next time.